And finally, you may have heard the buzz about Starbucks' new $7 cup of coffee, available at just a handful of shops in the Northwest. Where does the cost come from? Well, it's a mix of a rare varietal of coffee bean and the $11,000 machine that brews it. Is it worth it? Food writer Tim Carman is here to talk coffee. And Tim, so my first question is, what is this machine doing that it's so special and it costs 11 grand?
There are certain processes that you want when you're making a cup of coffee, when you're brewing a cup of coffee. You want to make sure that the water temperature is correct. You want to make sure that the extraction time is the proper amount of time, like 4 minutes is usually the time amount for extraction of a good cup of coffee. This does it all. It's kind of like the Terminator barista.
And will the average coffee drinker be able to taste the difference?
Depends on how much milk and sugar you put in it.
This all seems like a bit of snobbery to me, to be honest. I'm not a connoisseur. We have a couple different cups of coffee to kind of get at what we should be thinking about when we're using our probably not $11,000 machines at home.
This one is a Costa Rican. Now this is not the same thing as the $7 cup of Geisha coffee from Starbucks, but this is from the same region as the Geisha, and it is not that sort of dark, deep, chocolatey color that you often see with the oils dripping through. It looks dry.
Yeah, it does.
It's a nice light roast. And it is a single origin. I mean, it's from one farm. It's not like a bunch of different beans that are then blended together by the roaster and roasted usually to a very dark quality.
Okay, we're looking for light, dry-looking beans.
Well, it depends. You don't want to always just look for the lighter roast. You want to find the roast that's appropriate for that bean.
Okay, so number one is roast. What else should we be thinking about?
Well, you want to look at how the coffee is made. This is the way I make coffee at home. This is called a Hario, and what you'll do is you'll use your burr grinder, because you have to have a burr grinder.
How much did my burr grinder cost?
Well, it's going to cost you probably over $100 to up to $300.
Okay, for a coffee grinder. That's why this is just stupid, but okay.
Just drink your Starbucks and be quiet.
Okay.
What a burr grinder does is give you a nice uniform grind, so that
because people complain if you have the thick grind and the small grind, some of it is overseeped, some of it's underseeped.
Look at you. Who's the coffee snob now?
No, I have snobby coffee friends, and I think their burr grinder's dumb too.
All right. What is good about this, as opposed to a paper filter, is the paper will absorb the oils, the essential oils in the beans, so that's taking out a lot of flavors. So you're going to put your ground coffee in here. You'll add water a little bit at a time, and after about 3 minutes or so of pouring in coffee and letting it steep into your cup, you'll have a very nicely extracted, hopefully perfect cup of coffee.
Okay, but bottom line, a couple things that people should look for when they're buying their coffee.
If you like the dark roasted coffee, you can go to Starbucks and buy Pike's Place. I think it's actually a decent cup of coffee.
Your main complaint is they're over roasting their beans at Starbucks.
That's just my taste. The essential issue is that we're not getting the perfect coffee experience. We only have a sort of monoculture of coffee because everyone thinks this is what coffee tastes like, as opposed to the huge array of flavors and experiences you can have with a cup of coffee. You can have like a nice floral citrusy one, you can have a chocolatey one, you can have one that has a nutty flavor. There's just this wide spectrum of like coffee flavors that gets unfortunately boiled down into a sort of monoculture of coffee.
Okay, Tim, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That'll do it for us for today. We'll fold things up. Hope to see you back here Monday.